Well, good morning and good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy, wild, and beautiful world. It is good to be with you today. And I wanted to start with a fun story. My son, many of you know, plays competitive golf. He was out playing around yesterday and he got a hole in one. And this was his third hole in one. And I loved what happened next. So my husband was hoofing it up to the hole and approached him and wanted to document the moment, of course. And he said, "What do you have to say for yourself?" And Axel said, "I didn't expect that." And so I loved that. I love that he said, "I didn't expect that." It's so simple. And isn't that like life? You never know what might happen. And we don't know what's going to happen in this moment or the next moment or in the next moment. In this case, it was something amazing. It could easily be something that we're convinced is going to happen and is going to take us down a rabbit hole or make us feel bad or be something catastrophic. And then it never happens. So all we have really is the illusion that we know what will happen. And we don't know. And I think there was a gentleman, I think it was David Simon, that said, it's important to get uncomfortable with the wisdom of certainty. It's important to get uncomfortable with the wisdom of certainty because there really is no moment other than this moment. And our mindfulness and meditation practices remind us of that. So today we are going to do a mantra practice. This is my go-to practice, the one that I love, especially this time of year with so many activities and our brains doing mental gymnastics, all the to-dos and the traditions and everything that we get wrapped up in. And so you may remember that the word mantra is made up of two root words from Sanskrit. The first one is man, which is mind, and tra, which is instrument or vehicle. So a mantra is an instrument or a vehicle for the mind. And they're very effective for taking you from this place in your head, this active mind, and this external world that we have around us into our internal worlds and the more subtle aspects of ourselves. I also like to think of this as our higher self or our consciousness, the void, as I've also heard it said. So that place of stillness that underlies all of our thoughts and emotions and all of our activity. And that is the place really where our deeper wisdom can arise and where all possibilities can unfold. So one other thing that I wanted to share with you is I've been reading this wonderful book by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And I read it a little bit at a time. It's called Wherever You Go, There You Are. He's the one who actually coined that phrase. I did not know that. And there's something that he wrote about stillness that I wanted to share with you this morning or this afternoon. Dwelling in stillness and looking inward for some part of each day, we touch what is most real and reliable in ourselves and most easily overlooked and undeveloped. When we can be centered in ourselves, even for brief periods of time, in the face of the pull of the outer world, not having to look elsewhere for something to fill us up or make us happy, we can be at home wherever we find ourselves, at peace with things as they are, moment by moment. And isn't that a wonderful thing to think about as we go into this holiday season, as we go into all of, again, the activities and the traditions and the expectations that we place on ourselves and that other people place on us. So today, as you know, we are going to center ourselves in stillness. And we'll begin with a mindfulness practice and then move into a heart-centered breath, and then our mantra practice with some silence at the end. And I'll share the mantra with you in a bit. But for now, just know that we'll be meditating for about 15 or 20 minutes. I will keep track of the time. And a couple of essentials that I'll run through that I always do each time we meditate. The first is it's okay to have thoughts. They are natural. Just simply redirect your attention each time that you notice that your mind wanders a bit. Bring it back to the focus of the breath or the mantra in this case today. Second is let go of any expectations, let go of waiting or expecting anything, and just see what shows up for you. Um, think about surprising yourself, saying to yourself, I didn't expect that as you go through meditation today. The third thing is don't try too hard to make anything happen, to have a certain experience. Just have the one that you're having. You may not have to levitate or see colors to actually find a place within yourself that is still and a deep sense and source of wisdom for you. Always be kind to yourself like a good friend would, and finally stick with the practice. Even if it gets hard, even if you are highly distracted, which can happen, simply come back to you, simply return to the breath or the mantra. Okay, so let's begin. Go ahead and get yourself comfortable and relatively still with your hands in your lap or at your sides. And tuning in to this moment right here, right now. Sitting in a position that allows you to be comfortable and alert, aligning your head, neck, and your spine, relaxing your shoulders. And when you're ready, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and close your eyes or gaze softly at a point in front of you. And begin by giving yourself some long, slow, and deep breaths in and out through the nose. And letting your body know it's okay to be here right now. It's okay to relax. Moving from the world of doing to this internal space, in the space of being. And letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and depth. And allowing yourself to become more aware of the sounds around you. Welcoming everything that you hear without judgment. And listening to the sounds, perhaps like a symphony, like a soundscape. Noticing perhaps the frequency of the sounds. Whether the sounds are far or near. Tuning in to the quality of the sounds. And refraining from any judgment about whether you like the sounds or they're pleasant, and simply just noticing what comes into your field of awareness. Imagining everything belongs here, right now, in this space, including you. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do, except being here right now. Now, turning your attention to the physical sensations you might notice, perhaps the breath in your nasal passages, your hands at your sides or in your lap, and the interplay between your hands and the surface upon which they're resting. Invite your body to soften even more as you feel the support beneath you. You can let go. Allow it to hold you, to keep you safe. Feel the ground beneath your legs and your feet, grounding yourself into Mother Earth. Inviting your face and your jaw to soften, your shoulders to lower and your belly to soften. And tuning into any areas of tension that might exist and allowing that tension to melt away. It's okay to relax. Bring your attention to the gentle movement of the body. Any adjustments you may be making, any swaying, any twitching. Notice the subtle movement of the breath through the body and the way it responds. Notice the gentle rise and the fall of the chest, the way the rib cage moves with the breath, and letting your breath be exactly as it is. There's no particular feeling or experience you should be having. Simply this experience in this moment right now. Draw your attention now to the heart, tuning in to the way the body moves, where the heart beats, noticing any sensations in the body. Perhaps a tightness, an ease, a warmth, or a tingling. Everything is perfect as it is. We'll begin our silent mantra practice using the breath. As you inhale, silently think to yourself, so. And as you exhale, think the sound hum. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. H-U-M. This means I am that. And if you're inclined, you can gently sing the mantra to yourself. So hum. You decide what resonates for you. And put your attention on the mantra rather than any meaning. So hum. And as you repeat or hum the mantra, and you notice your attention is drifting away, simply return to the mantra over and over again. You're tuning in deeper and deeper to the inner landscape that is you. The movement of the body, the movement of the thoughts. Simply and easily continue to repeat this mantra, letting go of any expectations and allowing everything to be as it is. We'll be doing this practice for several minutes, and I'll keep track of the time. If you notice that your mind has wandered, return to the mantra. So hum. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. Keeping your eyes closed, you can release the mantra and simply rest in being and in loving awareness. Expand your awareness now to sense aliveness throughout your body. In every cell, every organ, every limb, Perhaps what you sense is energy pulsing through the body. Perhaps heat. Perhaps a lightness. Whatever you sense is perfect. Tuning in to what is here for you. There's nothing that you have to feel, nothing that you have to sense. Simply being in this space of aliveness. And if you're inclined, you might silently affirm to yourself, I am home. I am at peace. I am home. I am at peace. We'll keep this inward focus for another minute or so, and I will keep track of the time. Direct your eye right inward, and you'll find 1,000 regions in your mind yet undiscovered. Travel them and be expert in home cosmography. As our meditation comes to a close, I invite you to deepen your breath, bringing some gentle movement back into the body. Gradually returning to the external. Allowing yourself the space that you need to move into this sense of awareness, the external. Perhaps stretching into the space around you. And tuning into any sounds, any sensations. And taking all the time that you need coming out of meditation. It's so important to do that slowly and mindfully. No rush. And to close our practice today, I'd love to read a passage from Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus, the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. So I'd like to thank you for joining me in the practice today. If you're so inclined to bring your palms together, your thumb knuckles to your breastbone, I bow to you. The light in me honors and sees the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.